Hi, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin, kaitsim here on YouTube, but my real name is Caitlin, and if you are new here, welcome, and thank you for stopping by. Today we are doing a speed build of the apartment in San Myshuno, which is 17 Culpeper House. I really wanted to play with the Industrial Loft Kit, and so that's what I did. I essentially took base game of the Industrial Loft Kit, and that is all I used until about halfway through the build when I realized I could have been using city living the whole time because it's an apartment in San Myshuno. Obviously, I could have used city living. I didn't think it through. Anyways, so I did this quick little layout. I wanted to do it for more of like a masculine sim and kind of give that industrial modern vibe, I guess. It's hard to describe. It's a style that I adore, truthfully. But I wanted to do brick on the outside like it was the exposed brick from, just being in the apartment. And then I use a bunch of the vents, and I use almost all of the Industrial Loft items, I think anyways, besides windows, because I can't change windows in here. And then I tried to use the big Industrial Loft door, but it was not going to fit. It's a tiny little apartment. So it's for either a single sim or a couple. I pictured a male sim here living alone. You could renovate that extra room that I am currently painting or you could renovate it into another bedroom, but I personally made it an office for the sim. So that is what that ends up being. I pictured this guy to be kind of like really put together, and maybe he's an engineer, or maybe he's a designer, because since we don't have architects, he could be a designer. He could be, I don't even know. He could be anything, really. But I felt like he had a good career. He was well established, and he was making a decent amount of money, truth be told. I used the plaster on the walls in this build. You'll see me do that a lot because I like the texture of it. And sometimes I don't love just like the plain but pretty paint for some of my more modern or industrial style builds because it doesn't really seem to make a whole lot of sense to me. So the texture of the plaster was really nice, and I wanted it to be kind of monochromatic and grayscale throughout the whole space. As you can see in the bathroom, I went for a lot of really modern fixtures. The black and white theme is pretty strong. I also used some plants, but not a ton. And I tried to use a lot of the architectural artwork. So we have those antique poster gallery wall art thing that I use in here. And then there's also those two front elevations, or I don't want to call them blueprints because they're not, but the elevations of facades of buildings. We have two of them that I actually use in the office as well because it seemed to go along with the storyline I was creating in my head for this gentleman. And disregard my dog in the background. He loves to go nuts when I'm recording anything. So at the moment, I am kind of trying to mess around and add stuff to the shelf. That little terrarium did not want to go up there because it's technically too big, but using the 9 key, she can get right on in there. And at the time that I did this, I didn't have the OMSP shelf in here, which you'll see me using a lot of my other builds, because once I download that, it's saving grace. I don't know how I ever lived without it prior. Oh, I lied. My OMSP shelf is right there. In my first one, I didn't have it. I didn't realize I had it by now. Anyways, disregard anything I just said. I think that OMSP shelf is amazing. I can't believe I forgot that. But like I said, these are those antique, looks like patents, which I actually have a couple of antique patents in my apartment as decorations because I love them. I actually have antique patents of makeup products, anywhere from the 1920s to the 1960s, I think. But if you ever wanted some patents, by the way, while we're talking about patents, I might as well just give you a little pro tip. If you ever want a cool patent, so you can frame it and put it in a gallery wall or something, or if you have a subject or a hobby that you're super into, like for me it's makeup, you can go onto google.patents.com or something like that. No, patents.google.com, and they have patents for everything, literally everything. It's amazing. It's so cool. If you ever want any, I just highly recommend going on there. It's amazing. That's all I have to say. As you can tell, I am doing the kitchen now. I wanted to use these base game cabinets because they work so well with the Industrial Loft Kit. And I was really trying to get this coffee pot to not hang off the edge in the corner. But honestly, I couldn't. It's the best place to put it. But I wish that all the coffee pots and the teapots wouldn't hang off the edge. It drives me nuts. I don't know why it does that. And then I wanted to use that full height cabinet over there. We're using our Cutie Pie little vents. I love those. In my dream apartment, I would have vents all over, like exposed vents, exposed pipes, all the above. Industrial all of it. And then I go back into the bathroom and add some in there. In my head, these vents are probably your AC. Technically, you would need an intake and an outtake, but I only added one vent, but what are you going to do? So in every space, there is a few vents. And one thing, like I was mentioning about the kitchen, is I wanted to use that full height cabinet, but I wanted it, since these are taller walls, to kind of stick up above and have the like full height of it above the counter. But it looked super strange because the legs were clipping and I couldn't get it to work, so I just had to kind of leave it. Kind of bummed. I wanted to make it work, but then I was able to fill in the space with the vents. So at the end of the day, it was a blessing in disguise. I wanted to use the ceiling fan in the bedroom because in apartments, I find that you get a lot of ceiling fans. But also, now that I've had a ceiling fan, I don't ever not want one. And I know people never use them in builds and stuff, but truth be told, I think ceiling fans are one of the best things you can have in an apartment ever. Every room in my house has a ceiling fan, and every single one is going at all times. I just want to circulate the air. I want to get some breeze going. It's nice. Anyways, so I wanted to add a few plants and a few decorations into the kitchen. However, I couldn't really find what I was looking for. I wanted some more industrial options, and I felt like there wasn't a lot. So as you can see back there, I have added this like chopping board with bread on it, and then just the cooking utensils, and that's all I really have. And then I moved that fern over to be next to the coffee. I'm adding some soap onto my little countertop. I always struggle with soap dispensers because I don't want them to touch the sink at all. And so I always go back and forth a million times with soap dispensers. This is the Industrial Loft Kit sofa and chair. And if you have the Industrial Loft Kit, you know how beautiful and amazing these are. What an absolutely stunning piece of furniture that they created. The leather texture on that is just so remarkable. I am so impressed with it. I really do enjoy it a lot. So I'm just adding a TV here, and this is the coffee table, also from the Industrial Loft Kit. My only complaint about that coffee table is it's so tall. Like the second tier on that is taller, or when it's in the screenshots, you might be able to tell, but that second tier is almost as tall as the back of the sofa. It's so bizarre to me. But I'm also adding these little portraits. I thought they were cute, but my favorite thing that came out of this Industrial Loft Kit are those like phantom signs. I think that's what they're called. But back in New Hampshire, which is where I'm from, originally, they have these in this capital, which is Concord, New Hampshire, if you don't know. And they have these like ghost signs, they might be called, instead of phantom. I'm not entirely sure. All over the buildings on Main Street in Concord. And they're so fascinating. And it's so cool to just see like the old painted signs that are fading and maybe painted over at one point. And it's just, they're really cool. So I really enjoyed having that being added into the Industrial Loft Kit. And I used it twice in this apartment. And don't be surprised if you see it a lot. I really enjoy it. I think it's really cute. I added a cute little dining table over into the corner, and then I wanted to use that really big Industrial Loft Kit shelving piece with all the plants coming out of it. I just thought it was adorable. So I did end up using that. I do move that dining table over because after I'm done with the apartment, I realized there is a very, very large like empty space in the section like next to the in front of that cool like artwork piece I was talking about. Right in front of that is where I put the dining table, and then I end up putting a chess table back here instead. But now I'm just cluttering up the coffee table. I put these bills on here because I thought it would be kind of fun and kind of more realistic and lived in, that you might have just like mail strewn out on your coffee table. A couple books, that bowl, and then the globe I thought kind of fit the vibe. And then a remote, of course. And this is when I realized I could use City Living, because I was like, oh, I don't know where the gaming console is. Weird. And then I realized it was a City Living item, and then I was like, wait a second. I could have used City Living this whole time because everything else has been base game. But anyways, I think honestly, truth be told, that might be one of the only city living things I use, because I really couldn't find a lot of city living items that worked with what I was going for. So the video game might be the only one, but tell me that's not perfect for this bachelor guy living in his apartment with his wealthy, like, engineering job and all that stuff. He's a video game guy, okay? So I put 2 bookcases over there and kind of moved them together using the Alt or the Option, because I have a Mac. And what I like about that is it makes it look like one big long bookcase, and there are a couple slots to clutter that bookcase. I don't think I ended up filling it in though, only because I forgot. So now I'm just trying to find some pipes. I thought it would be nice to have those in here. I also am going to be continuing the vents out through here and getting rid of that gear artwork. I do end up using that gear artwork later on in the build, but for now, I'm gonna end up, getting rid of it. I had the pipes over by the bathroom door and then some more vents up top, change them to the black swatch because that's what matches our little hangout situation, apartment situation, that's the word. Now I'm trying to find a little coat rack or something to put up there. I do end up moving the coat rack, I believe, and putting a different artwork piece above this console table and then cluttering that up with some super cool things that I thought really worked with this, especially just that like industrial, there we go, that camera. And then I end up using, what is it? It's like that, what is the name of that thing? I don't know. It's like a scale. I don't know. You'll see it in a second. I end up deleting a lot of this stuff and adding that in instead. I also use that little piece of artwork on the sidewall there. No idea what it is. Absolutely love it. Think it's so cute and adorable. And then I have the shoe rack, and eventually you'll end up seeing, there it is. Whatever that thing is, I put that up there and I thought it was so cute. I do end up going back and finding the tissues, and then so right there, I tried to look up the umbrella stand. I didn't realize that was seasons when I was doing this, so I couldn't use it. It was kind of a bummer. This rug I thought was super cute. Gave me slight tribal-y vibes, but it came in my color scheme, which was awesome. And now we're moving on to the bedroom, where we are using the Industrial Loft Kit bed and the nightstands and the dresser, all of the above. I ended up trying to clutter up the top of that dresser because, you know, the height in this room kind of felt like it needed it, but I ended up taking it all down and just putting it on the nightstand. So there are a couple of things on the nightstands. Those lamps are perfect for this style in their base game. And then this is the Industrial Loft Kit rug that I scaled down and used under the bed, and I'm grabbing another one of these pieces of artwork and using that bike swatch with a little bit of red in it, and then some more curtains. And now I'm going to be trying to clutter up the top of that dresser. Real life here. I have to yell at the dog for scratching while I'm trying to record, because what else would happen other than lovely and beautiful interruptions and problems? So anyways, like I was mentioning, I tried to clutter up the top of the dresser. Thought it looked a little weird, but I really liked this bust sculpture, so I ended up using that in the bedroom on the nightstand instead. And now we are moving on into the office. This industrial drafting desk thing from base game is so perfect with the Industrial Loft Kit. I am obsessed with it. It's just so cool. And then the woodworking table, tell me the person living here, this strong man, does not seem like a woodworker to you. I mean, come on, he's a woodworker, okay? Whether we want to admit it or not, he's woodworking. So then I end up going in and finding the woodworking, like the craftable chair, I think, and putting that in the corner. And then I also found the craftable guitar that looks like it's kind of like half done, and I put that in the corner as well to fill in that space. And what I liked about that, oh, here's that gear painting that I move over to this side. What I liked about the craftable thing is it makes it feel like they're projects that he's actively working on. Here it is, that he's not quite done with. And so I really did like that. I tried to put the bar stool for a second. I was like, and then I remembered that there was a guitar. So I thought that was super interesting. You're going to see me grab those 2 architectural prints like I was talking about. And then I put a bulletin board over the woodworking station. Maybe he was using that as a way to record what he was doing, or I don't know, just work stuff. Who knows? I use cork boards a lot. And then I love this Alpine Skies painting. You'll see me use it in probably every build because I think it is absolutely stunning. And then I add a couple more plants in there, and I do end up taking the cactus that I used in the bedroom and moving it to the hallway, I believe. And here's where you're seeing me switch the dining table, like I mentioned. So yep, I moved the cactus in the hallway. I add that little cutie pie plant into the bedroom instead. And now I'm adding our chess table out in the living space behind the couch instead because I needed something. But I think that's going to be about it. And so I hope you enjoyed the screenshots. If you have not already, please subscribe, like, comment, all of the above. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.